Welcome to Real Talk, Real Women. My name is Miriam Khalladi, and today we have Alli Breen from Portland, Oregon on the show. Welcome, Alli. How are you?
Great, Miriam. Thank you so much for having me on the show today.
You're most welcome. Thank you.
Yes.
I know you are a Pilates expert and master training. Pilates isn't as big in Europe as it is in the US. Can you explain what Pilates is to our viewers?
Yes, that's so funny. Pilates is essentially neuromuscular strength training. So it's a very mind body exercise practice that is as old as Joseph Pilates started it during the Second World War. He defected from Germany to the United States. So you think it would be huge in Europe, but it is very big in the United States because when he came to New York City and worked with, a lot of the dancers from New York City, George Balanchine, and it kind of slowly progressed from there to what it is today, which is a billion dollar industry. So
Okay. I read about your amazing weight loss and life transformation story online, and I saw some pictures and I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Your before and after is just incredible. Can you share a little bit about your journey?
Sure. I've been involved in dance and Pilates my whole life. I started Pilates when I was 15 and I'm 35. But, life throws you many curveballs. And so for me, when I got pregnant with my first daughter, I just kind of let things go and I didn't watch my nutrition and I didn't stay up on my workouts. And then I also wasn't in the best spot in my life. I'd lost my brother, so I had some depression issues. And so basically when I came through the end of that and decided and I met the love of my life that I really wanted to put my life back together. I was still training clients when I was bigger because I'm very lucky growing up in Pilates. I also trained at the world headquarters in Toronto for Stop Pilates with the best of the best in the industry. So I was able to teach no matter what I looked like. But I really had to dig into myself and become my own self motivator. But I will say, on days when it's hard to be a self motivator to yourself, you have to have a pool of things or people around you that help you take the next steps to the next level. And so I'm very lucky. I have some of the best friends and the biggest fitness models and the biggest trainers in the industry that I can call on when I'm having a rough day. But before I had all of that, I would just read lots of books, look at pictures of myself from my dancing years, wear clothes, even if they weren't the size I liked, but wear clothes that made me feel good. Little girly things, do your hair, do your nails, wear, things that just made you feel really good. And also a big turning point for me was deciding to go vegan. I am a vegan. And another big turning point for me was deciding to add this method called Jennifer Nicole Lee JNL Fusion to my Pilates training. And when I did that, it really took the classical Pilates training that I had been doing my whole life to a very athletic level. And so now what I do is I combine the JNL Fusion with athletic Pilates, the principles I've kind of incorporated with the two. And that's when my body really started to change with the vegan diet. And so I would just say that you have to be a self-motivator to have the kind of transformation I had, but you also have to pull from motivating things around you on your down days.
I agree. You're also vegan. Can you explain what it means and what some of the benefits are?
Sure. Yeah. Well, a vegan doesn't eat any animal products, not honey, not I don't know, butter or things that I get a lot of questions like, well, do you still eat fish? And no, fish is an animal. So we don't eat any products from any, wildlife fish. If it has a mother, we don't eat it, kind of thing. And what it really has done to me is it's given me, I would say, the best feeling of really giving back to the earth, as far as not needing to be a part of these industries, these huge farm factories that are polluting the earth on a level that people don't even realize. Also, I grew up in Montana, where my biological father basically eats the food that he hunts. And it really became interesting to me growing up, thinking, because my dad decides to go into these animals' environment, they're not in the city, and he just gets to decide when they die or when they live. I always thought that was really strange. And then, being a Pilates instructor and training so many bodybuilders, so many champion bodybuilders, and just the pounds and pounds of chicken and meat that they would, eat every week. And it just became really disgusting to me. And I remember talking to one of my clients. She was a champion figure competitor with Fitness America. And I just said, I want to quit eating meat. And she's like, you'll never have muscle if you don't eat meat. And so then I just kind of thought that just doesn't seem right. And I got in touch with Robert Cheek from Vegan Bodybuilding and slowly built up a relationship with vegan bodybuilding and slowly went vegan. It didn't happen overnight. I definitely had like some slip ups. In the beginning, cheese was the hardest thing. I love cheese. I still love cheese. I just like vegan cheese now. But the benefits have been a lot less feeling weighed down, a lot more energy. When you eat live kale, meaning it hasn't, been cooked, or even if it's been cooked or steamed, or you eat, these amazing tomatoes and, fresh garden burgers and things like that, you're eating such pure, healthy food. And if you can go organic, even better. That you feel light with energy versus weighed down and need to take a nap. And so I love that. And then I just don't have the guilt about the animals and knowing a lot of people don't understand what those animals go through when they die. So yeah, guilt-free life.
Thank you for sharing the story.
Yeah.
You lost a lot of weight and managed to keep it off. A lot of people struggle with that. What are the lifestyle changes you made to enable you to stay in shape?
I have to say I'm pregnant right now. So
Congratulations.
Thank you. I'm pregnant with my second child. I'm very happy about that. So I've been off the radar a little bit and I was very sick with this pregnancy. But normally what keeps me motivated to keep the weight at bay, which I'm still doing, is really, again, I'm a self-motivated person, but I think taking every meal and every day one meal at a time. I don't, I used to be really big about planning a week's worth of food or, cook all my meals on Sunday so I'm prepared. And that can be really helpful, but especially in the beginning. But I just like to sit down and make a good choice with the things I have in my kitchen. Or if I go to a vegan restaurant, what's the best choice I can make right now? Don't think about dinner. Don't think about breakfast tomorrow. Just deal with the moment right now. Or even like my workout program. I know I need to train 6 days a week. I don't want to think about 6 days a week. I want to think about my workout right now, block everything else out, and kind of just focus on the moment. Because if you start to focus on, oh my gosh, like for me, I lost over 80 pounds. If I thought about 80 pounds every time I stepped into the gym and looked over at the person younger next to me and the person hotter next to me, I never would have made it. I had to think about myself, my goals, put on my blinders, and just go full steam ahead with that workout in that moment and give it everything I had every day and just take it one step at a time.
Wow, really incredible.
Yeah, it was very challenging. And also I would say the other thing that really inspires me, truthfully, hand to God, this is the truth, is my own clients. I have clients from all different walks of life. Some of them are, athletic, and some of them just do Pilates for stress relief and fusion for stress relief. But I remember I had a client come up to me and say she ran her first mile. And I thought, if this woman can run a mile, I can run a mile. Dancers don't run. We don't run. So ballet dancers don't run. So I just really, I ran my first mile like 2 years ago, ever in my life, So my clients really inspire me. Also keeping up with my daughter, Aria. She's gorgeous. She's 5. She has all this energy in her. I want to be a good mom to her and a good wife to my husband, who is amazing. So
you're doing a great job.
thank you.
Now you're a sought after Pilates coach. What drives you to want to help other people?
I think it's really helping people achieve what they want for their personal goals. And a lot of times it is just less stress. A lot of the women I teach have families and they want to carve out that time a few times a week just for them. And then some of them really want to step on a stage and become, fitness models or bikini competitors or things like that. So I think what I love is that I have such an amazing group of people I train, and I Skype train people all over the world. I have a client in Holland. I have clients in New York and Toronto. So I train all over the Pacific Northwest. So I think the variety, it's not I just train bodybuilders or I just train ice skaters. I train people from your next door neighbor mom that just want less stress to people who want to put on 20 pounds of muscle. And I think the variety is what I love so much about my job, but helping people become healthier and helping them know that it doesn't matter how old you are, you can achieve your goals. And I truly believe that. I truly believe, I've seen 50, 60-year-old women be in way better shape than 18-year-olds I meet. And currently I train two an 87-year-old man and an 85-year-old woman twice a week. And they're amazing and they're in great shape. And Pilates is so great because Pilates is something you can grow old with and something that can keep you functional with, the movements in a lot of times people get joint issues with their shoulders and their knees and their hips and their spine. And Pilates is so great about really keeping the mobility and keeping the range of motion. So that's why I love Pilates, because it really is something that you can do at any age group or any fitness level.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Let's say a close friend of yours is totally out of shape. What would be the first thing you would recommend they do?
Oh man, some of my closest friends are out of shape, truthfully. And some of my closest friends are oxygen cover models. So, you know, if you would have asked me that question 10 years ago, I probably would have emailed them 5 times a day, texted them, rung their phone, and just really hounded on them. When I was in my 20s, I probably would have taken that approach. But as you grow up and as you realize people have to make their own choices, I've definitely, for all of my friends, whether they needed to lose 50 pounds or just become more fit or a better runner or a better, long distance swimmer, I lay out a basic program. And if I see them take the initiative with it, then I'm more apt to continue to help. I'm very busy. I teach all over Portland. I have an online coaching business for workouts for athletic Pilates. And so if I have a close friend ask me for advice, I would say the first 3 things I would say is try and drink a gallon of water a day. First thing. Second thing, try and eat three fruits and 3 vegetables for the next week with that gallon of water, and take a walk once a day. If you can do that for a week, talk to me again. And so, really, really small things, because if you overwhelm somebody with, I want you to do this workout and I want you to eat 6 meals a day and I want them to be 3 hours apart, people tend to get really overwhelmed with that unless they're athletically minded people or they have a vision in their head. So with some of my friends that want to just make changes, I give them little tips. And I would say nutrition and water are the biggest tips, because you can train with me 5 days a week. But if your water and your nutrition are not there, forget it. You're not going to get the changes that you want to see. Nutrition and water are the biggest things.
I agree.
Yeah.
Did you have a support system in place when you went through your transformational journey?
I did. I did. And I think the reason that, truthfully, that I got so bad with my health prior to my journey was that I didn't have a support system. I felt very lonely in my life. And then I met the love of my life, and my daughter was very, very small. And so, I was taking care of a little one 24 hours a day, on top of feeling lonely and having, really not much of a support system. My parents were a support system, but they lived quite a few hours away from me. So it wasn't like I had them in my town. But my mom has always been there for me. And then when I met my now husband, he was like my instant support. He just believed in me. And, we got married, and I was probably just under 200 pounds when we got married. And I'm a 125-pound person, So my husband never said to me, I want you to lose weight. Nothing. My husband was just like, you're in Pilates. You're healthy now. He knew I ate well, especially when I started to get back on track. You have a great career, and I know that the person you are is a healthy person. And he would just leave it at that. It was never like, I wish you would look this way or that way. I think he just knew it was inside of me. And I think also, Jennifer Nicole Lee introduced me to a lot of my closest fitness friends, like Laura London, and having that kind of group to surround yourself with, just even though they live in Florida and I'm in Portland, Oregon, having somebody to reach out to. And then honestly, one of my very close friends who I've never even met in person, Shanna Serenity, who I know that you interviewed on your show. Yeah. Shanna is there for me. It doesn't matter, what's going on, if it's 1 a.m. or, and I'm there for her. And so the support system is really important. Because on your down days, you need that. And then, I think that having other people, like even in my professional job, if I have a client that just is stumping me and I don't know what's going on, why aren't they doing everything I say, and why aren't I seeing the changes I want to see? Normally it's because they're not doing everything I say. But if I have a question and I just can't seem to nail something, I'll go to one of my, top fitness friends like myself, and they come to me. I'm very lucky that, say, when somebody from London contacts Jennifer Nicole Lee about going vegetarian or vegan, she refers them straight to me. So I'm very lucky to have that network of people that I have. And so it's really important, the support system, just getting daily advice or just somebody to laugh about, to laugh like, oh my gosh, I made such an idiot at the gym of myself today. I fell off the treadmill switching my iPod, just being able to laugh about that. And so I think it's important, but it's great if you can find it in your family first. I will say that. And I'm very lucky that, my daughter is now growing up in Pilates. My daughter knows how to do push-ups. She's known how to do that since she was 3. So I'm glad that I get to be that mom that leads by example. We don't go to McDonald's, and we don't do all the junky stuff that most Americans do. So I'm really proud that I have a daughter who's growing up like that.
What has been your best life experience this far?
Oh, well, my best life experience has been having my daughter and meeting my husband, and then having our new baby. So I'm so excited about that. So definitely my family. And I just wish I could live in the same town as all of my family. And I married into a really good family also. I'm very close with my sister-in-law, who is actually in the Jennifer Nicole Lee Fusion DVDs with me. Her name is Icebox. That's her nickname, Jen. And I married into a really nice family, and I have a great family I come from. And so marrying my husband, like I said, my biggest supporter, my biggest person who stands behind me no matter what, is amazing. And my daughter, Aria.
I totally know what you mean. Yeah. Is there anything else you feel we've missed that you would like to cover today?
No, I appreciate you inviting me on the show. And I think that, I have a show on iTunes that you can find on todayisyourtomorrow.com. And I do the same thing. I love tracking down and seeking out people, whether they're authors, doctors, athletes, and having the show's called the Alli Be Inspiration. And it's really a show to inspire people. And I love that you have that. I think the Skype inspiration calls are great. because women and people who want to get healthy, whether you're a man or a woman, um, there can't be enough free inspiration out there. And I love that.
Thank you
And that's
so
why I
much.
do the show. That's why I do the show. And I'm sure that's why people like you do your show, is just to help lift people up. So I'm really grateful you had me on the program today. Thank you.
You're most welcome. Thank you so much. It was an absolute pleasure to have you on my show, Ellie.
Yes, thank you. Me too. I loved it.
You're most welcome. My name is Miriam Khalladi, and I will see you on the next episode of Real Talk, Real Women.